Hello, class. So for this participant, it's wildly different than my first one. So let's start right from the beginning. The age is 11, the sex is female, the race is Caucasian. So the general home life is she has a mom, a dad, two older sisters, and one that is now why I chose to do this is to make her a little bit different. She's an extremely close family friend. This family is they also have another trying to remember the name of it where they come out of the country and they live with them. So she has her as well. Maybe I'm not sure if that make a much big difference, but this is a normal typical home while the first one was not a typical home. Daycare, no daycare whatsoever. So the height and weight, she is 5'1". The weight was 84 pounds. And how does the child compare to the national average? The height is normal. The weight is a little bit higher, but it's nothing like she's overweight. She's just very toned. They're a very physically fit family. All of them, very. Motor development, gross and fine motor skills. Her motor skills are very good. This is a very outgoing, physically fit family. None of them have anything holding them back. Their older brother is a lot older, and he is 23, physically fit, out there in the world. The parents are, so she kind of really can't be because it's just set in tone to be that way. Sleep pattern or changes. Sleep patterns are not great, but I think it's due to the lack of taking the phone. I think the phone is what causes it. I don't think it's stress or anything like that, but that's not for me to decide. That's what is told to me. She has the phone a lot, so she doesn't go to sleep normal timing. It's very late. Any illnesses or diseases? None. Nutrition. Underweight, average weight, or overweight. From the looks of it, I would say normal weight. I would say if a very fit, I would say the weight is higher, but the fitness is very toned, very, very fit. She is a cheerleader. She does volleyball and all gymnastics, all of what very physically fit child at 11 could do. Nutritional meal, the dad cooks. Ironically, he was a military. Her father was in the military, and he cooks everything, and it's all very, high protein. Cognitive development. According to Pickett, what stage is a child in? Tell us what you know. Concrete evidence of what the stage is in. So the stage that she is in, to be exact, is, so the exact one is, sorry, I'm not good with the name of it. Formal operational stage. I'm very bad at pronunciation. So the concrete evidence of her being at this stage is she has her own opinion. This is where she's very similar to the first candidate that I had for my first discussion, is he had to create his own separate thinking because he's really on his own a lot. She is around so many people that I would have thought that she would have had a similar one to all the others, but she has her own opinion. They all are very competitive and all have their own justified opinions with backed up why she believes in. An example that I'll give for that is they all have very separate sports teams. And this is something that I try to look for because I think the number one thing that children follow is parents' sports teams. And if they don't follow that, that means they're starting to create their own opinion at an early age. And that is something that she's doing. They're all diehard Philly fans. She can't stand Philly. So it really showed me that she's starting to create her own opinion. So that was concrete enough for me. Cultural learning. This is the big one here where she has another older female in the home that's living them that is from Jamaica, and cultural, she's learning a lot from her, a lot more from her than she is about school, because the first candidate doesn't really know outside of his own culture. Memory, great memory. She's 11 years old, typical memory for someone her age. Language development, very in-depth, and I think a lot of children at this age have very in-depth language due to social media, TikTok, and them being exposed a lot earlier. She does not speak more than one language. She is only English. School experiences, preschool, and started learning disabilities. Okay, zero learning disabilities. She has fine in preschool. She did go to preschool, did not have a head start. She is just, when it comes to academics, very just normal rate. When it comes to physically fit, development of own ideas, that's where she kind of excels in being different. Infant directed speech. She's not an infant, can't give background on that. Word usage, she uses very what is socially popular. A lot of what's in what's in right now. I guess that's literally what I'm looking for. Moral development. This is what I asked the parents about. She used to have very bad temper, and her morals, based upon going to school, based on being around them, and more dived in the church over the recent years, has raised her moral development. Her socialization has to be good. She's surrounded by a ton of family and tons of different types of people. Self-understanding, gender identity. Okay, these are the new questions. So her gender identity is, her family's, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but I'll just say is male and female, and her identity lies within she's a female. And her gender socialization is no boys yet, so it's just female she's socializing with. Gender sigma, none. Self-concept, she's concept that she's a woman, and the most I could get from at her age, honestly, was really that she wants to work when she's older and doesn't really have the idea yet of, like, stay-at-home mother figure, worker. She just wants to have a job. Her self-esteem is very high. She's impressed by herself and very competitive. Parenting styles, discipline and punishment. Very strict parents. As I could tell, they were very strict on the oldest, very let up on the older two, and then very strict on her again. Maybe that's just when I'm around. That's what it looks to be like. Does the child have chores or do work? She has chores, taking out the trash, cleaning the bathrooms, and her room has to be cleaned. Nothing more than that. Friends and peers. Her friendships are normal, what the average other ones have. 2 very close friends. Media use, as I said, parents are very open with the media use. She's allowed to go on her phone a lot. It's not taken at bedtime. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't care to watch TV. She doesn't play video games. Stands out in addition. The one thing that stood out during the observation, the one thing that stood out to me is how behind normal kids her age are in other cultures, because she's a lot further along due to them having another child in the home that is outside their culture. That is something that very stood out to me. That I would like to include from the other chapters would probably be the development at the when we go back to the Piggott, what stage is she in? I don't think that there's many 11-year-olds in today's day that are behind the stage that she is in, which is formal operation. I think kids these days have so many divorced, social media, challenging at home, many siblings, where they just have to be at that stage. So I think that that's information that I wanted to go over based upon the chapters. I think the age and amount that are going to be in that stage is going to be very different based upon going on. And that is my observation on this child.